Charlie Kent was not a famous man. His name isn't in history books, but he had a quiet strength, a belief that every person deserved dignity. For Charlie, justice wasn't abstract. It was about seeing the humanity in everyone, no matter their background. He grew up where such beliefs were dangerous, whispers against a storm of prejudice. Yet, Charlie held on to his convictions, imagining a community judged by character, not by lies or skin color. It was a lonely vision, requiring courage to see worth in everyone when the world denied it. He stumbled, made mistakes, and had to unlearn the hatred he was taught. What made him remarkable was his willingness to confront his own brokenness. He knew the struggle for justice was as much about changing himself as changing the world. Again and again, he chose light over darkness. This quiet battle for his own soul became his true strength. We must remember people like Charlie Kent, not because they won great battles, but because they refused to surrender their humanity. Sometimes, the greatest heroes are those who stand up, even when their knees are shaking. Charlie's life was a testament to grace, courage, and the bonds that connect us all. His story reminds us that a better world is possible, even if it starts with just one person. In the end, Charlie's legacy is a quiet, powerful sermon on what it means to be truly human. Charlie was born in a small southern town in the 1940s where segregation was the law and the culture. Separate water fountains, schools, and bus sections weren't just rules, they were symbols of a brutal lie, that some people were better than others. This lie was everywhere, enforced by fear and violence, suffocating real human connection. Charlie saw the quiet dignity of black neighbors forced to step aside, the fear in children's eyes, and the constant reminders that some lives were valued less. The town's order was maintained through fear, poisoning both the oppressed and the oppressors. Most people chose silence, accepting the world as it was. But Charlie couldn't accept it. He felt the wrongness in his bones. His faith taught love and equality, but his world taught hate. This tension grew inside him. He realized that silence in the face of injustice was complicity. Charlie knew he couldn't remain silent forever. Charlie's resistance began with small acts, calling black customers sir and ma'am, offering a genuine smile. In a world ruled by racial hierarchy, these gestures were powerful. As he grew, he started questioning racist jokes and comments, first with silence, then with words. That's not right. He lost friends and was labeled a troublemaker, but he kept going. Charlie wasn't a perfect activist. He was learning, unlearning a lifetime of conditioning. He challenged his own prejudices, read forbidden books, and listened to voices he was told to ignore. His real battle was internal, fighting the enemy within his own mind. Each act of defiance, each friendship lost, was a step on a lonely path. He chose to become a different man than the one he was raised to be. It's one thing to fight an enemy, you see, it's another to fight the one inside you. Charlie's journey was messy, but it was courageous. He valued justice and empathy over comfort. Every small act was a declaration. The world could be better. He walked the path of someone who put humanity above his own comfort. As the civil rights movement grew, Charlie's quiet acts became public. He attended secret meetings, helped with voter drives, and his actions were seen as betrayal. Friends abandoned him, his family was torn, and he lost his job. Isolated and ostracized, the loneliness was crushing. But Charlie persisted, driven by a conviction stronger than fear. He knew his freedom was tied to the freedom of his black neighbors. The threats grew, but so did his resolve. His tragic death, officially an accident, but everyone knew the truth, was a warning to others. His community saw him as a fool, but his life and death honored humanity. Charlie chose love in a world of hate, leaving a legacy of grace. His sacrifice was a call to conscience for all who heard his story. Was Charlie Kent a racist? He was born into a racist culture, but the real question is what he chose to do about it. He fought to unlearn the lies, building bridges where others built walls. This struggle isn't unique. Look at the complex relationship between Dominicans and blacks. Colonial powers planted deep divisions, creating hierarchies based on skin color. In the Dominican Republic, this led to a national identity sometimes distancing itself from African roots. Anti-Haitianismo created painful separations, but the reality is more complex. Walk through Washington Heights, merengue, bachata, hip-hop, and soul food blend together. The connections are undeniable: music, food, language, and shared struggles. Both communities have faced racism and hardship, building cultures of resilience and faith. Their shared experiences create a bond stronger than the narratives meant to divide them. The truth is in the connections, not the divisions. The story is one of intertwined cultures, not separation. Unity flourishes where history tried to keep people apart. Hate isn't natural. It's taught, reinforced by fear and lies. We see this in the American South and in colonial legacies between Dominicans and African Americans. Division is carefully constructed, but love and unity are our natural state. Children don't see color or class, they see friends. The instinct to connect is innate. It builds families, communities, and movements for justice. Systems of hate fight against our humanity, but unity always waits to re-emerge. Dominicans and other black communities share a powerful history as part of the African diaspora. Their ancestors survived slavery by holding on to culture, music, and faith. The rhythms, traditions, and resilience are different expressions of the same story. This shared history is a source of strength and hope. When we recognize our shared foundation, divisions look small and fragile. What unites us, ancestry, struggle, dreams, is far more significant than what divides us. Our shared history is a source of grace and a call to unity. We are all branches of the same human tree. Different roots, different leaves, but one source. Charlie Kent's story and Dominican black relations teach us this lesson. Charlie saw that racism poisoning one part of the tree would poison it all. He sacrificed to heal the whole, knowing his health was tied to everyone else's. Hope comes from unlearning lies and seeking truth for ourselves. It happens when we listen with open hearts and see others' humanity as our own. This work continues today as people build bridges of understanding. Unlearning is hard. It takes humility and discomfort. But true connection comes from facing our history and biases. Unity isn't erasing differences but celebrating them as part of shared humanity. The path forward is clear. Choose connection over division, empathy over judgment, love over fear. Whether in a segregated town or a modern city, the choice remains. We can heal, see ourselves in each other, and believe a more just world is possible.